Hello everybody, my name is Theresa Keane. I am the Irish Ambassador for World Ferment Day and delighted to be so. So I've been asked to maybe answer a few questions, so here we go. So what led me to fermentation? Well, as a chef, I have been dabbling, I suppose, in fermentation for quite a while, for maybe 20 years. But back in 2015, I was attending UCC in County Cork, and I was doing a degree in food science and technology. And I saw the APC Microbiome Centre there, and that really piqued my interest. And I wondered, well, what is this? What does the microbiome mean? So I started to investigate that and to research it, and that led me on to really become interested in fermented foods, their potential health benefits, and as a chef, really their flavour potential. And down that rabbit hole I went for many years since. What motivates me to keep fermenting? Well, many things. The potential health benefits, the science of it, the cultural significance of it. I love to find out what different countries did, what different cultures did, why they did it, the necessity, the flavour, all of those kind of things. I find it hugely variable as well. There's so much nuance in fermenting and so many different avenues to go down. And I am attempting to go down all of them. What I suppose the other thing that motivates me really is the nature around. I forage a lot, and so I get great inspiration from all the wonderful wild plants, the flavours of those wild plants, the seasonality of them, and their potential health benefits also. My first fermentation experience, probably tasting it, was probably sauerkraut in some version, but my first attempt really was with kombucha. I was absolutely mesmerised by what I thought then was the SCOBY, by the pellicle. I was mesmerised by this jelly-like thing, and the bubbling sounds and the transformation, the pure transformation that occurred from this sweet tea to this effervescent, fruity, delightful drink. I now use kombucha in many different ways. I make it from many different substrates, not just tea. And I use it in my cooking. I use it as the cooking liquor. I use it to marinade. I just use it in so many ways. And I still to this day love kombucha. And the other thing then, what do I think is an easy way to introduce people to fermenting? Well, a lot of fermentation is very simple. And one of my main jobs at the moment is I'm a food safety consultant and trainer. So I find that the safety end of things is really, people get afraid. They're just not quite sure. I think we're so far removed nowadays from microbes that germ phobia has definitely set in. So I think the simplicity of milk kefir is probably a good way to start. It's literally putting some kefir grains into some milk, covering it in a tight jar and leaving it for 24 hours. I think most people can handle the 24 hours. Other than that, I think sauerkraut or any of the hard vegetables where you're chopping them up, massaging salt in and putting them into a jar with a tight lid, I think that they're probably the easiest ways. I would also suggest that people, if they're new to fermenting, that they buy a good ferment and that they start to play around with it in the kitchen, add it to their food. If they're making some, say, mashed potato or something, add a spoonful of milk kefir to it. Maybe add a teaspoon of kimchi or a tablespoon of kimchi to a stir fry, or have a teaspoon with your eggs. But play around with it. But definitely if you want to start fermenting, which I really suggest that you do, I would say some vegetables, some lacto-fermented vegetables, and some milk kefir are definitely the way to start. How does fermenting fit into my life? Well, now there's the question. I think it's more a case of my life fits into fermentation, because, as I said, foraging is a huge part of what I do. So it's a blend. Any free time I have at all, and I make the time to get out into nature, see what's available, see what's in season, and then I bring it home and I say, okay, how can I incorporate this into fermentation, into my ferments? So I make fermentation fit, or rather I fit my life around fermentation. I used to have a small food van where I would go around to markets and sell fermented drinks and vegetables, and I used to sell them as a refill, so people would bring their own jars and things like that. But it's I suppose it just got too much. I was just too busy to really concentrate too much on that kind of thing. So now I ferment for myself, for the potential health benefits, for the culinary aspects, and I also ferment for friends, but mostly I suppose for workshops. I teach a lot of workshops all around the country. I do that in both a casual setting and in an academic setting, and I think that's really how I fit it all into my life. It's become part and parcel of my life. It's a huge part of what I do. It's a part of my job, and it really is just a part of me. And what ferments do you eat or drink, or did I eat or drink most recently? Well, this morning I had some strawberry kombucha. I'm about to have some yogurt. I make a yogurt, an heirloom yogurt, Yona Chimel, and it's one of my favourite ferments to make is yogurt, and I use that again just as a yogurt and top it up with some berry and granola and things like that, or I use it as a marinade or to finish off dishes. It's delicious. So yogurt and kombucha this morning so far. I am planning to make some kimchi pancakes later on, which I'll have with a fried egg and a little bit of salady stuff. But there's so much, and this is a very tiny selection here of things that I will be having later. This is one of my favorites. This is a pickled wild garlic stem in lots of sort of Indian inspired flavors, and this is where I lacto fermented those stems first, and then I put them into another flavored syrup. And my oxymel, my wild garlic bud oxymel, I'll have some of those today as well. So thank you so much for listening. I'm really looking forward to continuing with World Ferment Day, and I really encourage everybody to pledge to try a ferment, either to try to make one or taste one. You won't regret it. It's, if nothing else, it is just a flavour bomb for your everyday foods. So go to the World Ferment Day resources and pledge. Thank you so much.